I'm back. So today we're talking about Timmy Patmon versus Officer Taylor Saulter. Saulter mowed down Patmon. There were some technical difficulties, but it's okay. I'm back. We're going to stay back. I'm going to give some context to the case. This is everything you're going to need to know about the incident that happened in Athens, Georgia, where Taylor Saulter mows down Timmy Patmon. You know what? I do feel called, if people just want to watch this video, to show the 30 seconds again. So can you cue up that 30 seconds? And this is the incident, 30 seconds in, and then we'll talk about, go ahead. All right, so when I first saw this video, this happened. I filmed this show in Triangle Plaza, which is in the middle of Athens on the east side, and you know you can pretty much see in that police video, you can pretty much see the storefront where I do what I do right now. This happened last week. Apparently, after my show, I was hanging out with my kids at a different thing, and while this was going down. There were about 3 or 4 other Facebook videos. One of them's excellent. So we saw the first person shooter angle with this one. Another one is a little bit third person. So you get to see what Timmy did was the first time the cop tried to cut him off, Timmy ran around the cop because he's very agile. They used to call this the Heisman, like I said. Timmy's nickname, how I met him, was Woozy. So I think we should call this the Woozy now. So Woozy goes around the cop, darts down the other side. The cop, not wanting to get out of his car or give up, decides, well, you know, I tried to cut the Negro off, so this time I'm just going to clip him a little. And so he clips him. Because it's sometimes when black people don't behave, you need to clip them with your car. That's the lesson. Make no mistake, that's what the lesson that was publicly taught. And so Timmy, I'm just going to call him Woozy now because that's his father's name is Tim and his other brother's name is Timothy. So we all know him as Woozy. It'll be smoother if I just go, Woozy got hit by this cop, Taylor Saulter. Right? There used to be more videos. Now they've all been confiscated, I suspect, because they've all been ripped down from Facebook. Even Sean King doesn't have his video up now. And yeah, I know. They got the Sean King. No,
apparently moving to New York was not enough to keep him safe.
No, so all the videos have been taken down except for the one that the police released, which is enough. Next time this happens, I'll know to download my video first. I downloaded the police one thinking they were going to take the police one down, but turns out they took down everyone else's. But
you mean they tried to control the narrative?
They're controlling the narrative. They fired the cop. So what's Freeman's official title? Is he chief of police? Chief of police fired the cop Saulter, who was a young rookie. Actually, no, he's about the same age as Patmon. So they're both about 24, 25. So they fired the cop, and they set up a GoFundMe campaign for the cop. And if you don't know, and people say like, well, you know, the problem is the cop training. Not really. And if you really want to think about the problem being the cop training, you got to check out this GoFundMe account. They showed the cop was fired, so you know, White Athens put together like all their feelings. They gathered all their feelings in support of this cop, and yeah, give me the GoFundMe campaign. So this is the GoFundMe campaign they showed for the cop. In this GoFundMe campaign, they announce it as he being the sole provider for his family, his wife, and their kids. And this is how white people will confuse you with their words. While being the sole provider of his family, would you believe this cop's dad is a captain of the same police department? And you know what his mom does? Works for the district attorney. So it's a weird kind of sole provider. Like
It's a sole provider with a really nice safety net.
with a really nice safety net, which means that when your dad is a captain of the criminal investigations unit and your mom works for the district attorney in the same town, it means your granddaughter is not going to want. So there is no. Yeah, we don't even know what the wife's family does. So that's just regular white money. When the median, and it's probably even more drastic in Athens, but across the nation, if you make a handful of adjustments, the median white net worth of a white household is $116,000. Getting a lot of, there's some either technical difficulties or, the NSA getting in my interwebs. There are a lot of technical difficulties I'm having with this show. I'm just going to put that out there. So, I should be back. You should be watching me. Let's talk about the cop mowing down. Timmy, can you give me the GoFundMe campaign with Saulter? So, Saulters, the officer gets fired and he releases a GoFundMe campaign, which it looks like it's doing pretty well, right? Good numbers. And in that GoFundMe campaign, in the description, we learned that Saulters is the sole provider for his family, his wife, and his kids. You're like, oh, let's feel bad. They omit that his dad is a captain in that same department, and his mom works at the DA's office. So the word sole provider means a lot of things. I want to know who paid for his house. I want to know who pays for his wedding. So, when you talk about sole provider and white people, the word doesn't mean the same thing that you think it means. But they raise money for him and give me the picture. And this is when you realize that
It's still up.
the picture's still up. Okay. This is when you realize that the problem isn't so much police training. Because you just pick a comment. There's one where he's like, well, the guy was, what was this one say?
Shannon Pick. But it was a fleeing suspect, right?
A fleeing suspect. All right, so a fleeing suspect. This is in the comments. Yeah, it's okay that we hit him because he was a fleeing suspect. Well, actually, he was on probation and for a nonviolent offense. I would have shot him in the kneecap. Yeah, so no, that's not what we do when people are on probation. For a nonviolent offense. He hadn't just killed anybody. No, he missed his PO appointment because they found they found a joint in the car he was at. Is that what someone just wrote on the? Oh, okay. That's.
What? Oh, Jesus.
So they found a joint in the car that he too was in. Like I said before on the other videos, I too have been in the car with joints that were not mine, but yeah, it's like that's what he was being. It was possession of a joint that we don't know whose actual joint it was because everybody in the car was charged with possession of that joint.
Whoa! Hold on. Everyone in the car got charged with possession of one joint.
Well, you can pass them around, apparently.
Well, yeah, but I mean, hold on.
Well,
how do you equally?
The driver it's the same charge. It was the same charge. So unless there were two small joints, I think there was one joint that with dubious possession, so everyone got the charge. Everyone picked up the charge.
So that's that trick where the cop says, if one of you doesn't claim it's yours, I'm charging all of you with it.
With possession, yeah. Possession of half a gram. And I was like, gram, not ounce? When he told me, I visited Woozy in jail. Like, gram, not ounce? He was like, it was a joint, man. So yes, gram. And then just to make sure, I went to the website and looked and said, no, it's half a gram. That is a leaf rolled up. It might have been laced. I don't
Supposedly.
know. But anyway, he was in the car with it. So this is out of a traffic stop. And so that's what he was on parole for. So there's a lot of Black life stuff going on here. And so he missed his parole meeting. And honestly, he was just hanging out with his boys. Then all of a sudden he hears, "Don't even think about it." And bolts.
Hold hold on.
Really, this is his words. He's like, the cop didn't introduce himself. I didn't know. All I heard was from the behind me, don't even think about it. So he bolted. And then when the first cop tried to cut him off, he was like, I thought they were going to try to take my life away, so I kept running.
Yeah.
And that all makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Hold on. Don't even think about.
Don't even think about it.
I wouldn't even. I don't run. And I would.
Don't even think about it. So he bolted. Because, like, who knows? Maybe they spread like the winds. I don't know. So this wasn't like we think you killed somebody or anything like that. No, this was like, this is just, we wanted to apprehend him. And so we really wanted to apprehend him. So we hit him. Not because he did anything bad, but because we wanted to. We really wanted to.
So hold on. This is an officer that recognized him from behind.
We don't know. No, it could have been 3 or 4 people there. Who knows?
They could have. Okay.
Don't even think about it. And then he bolted. Then they ran because he bolted. And then they ran like.
I'm confused because it sounds like this is in theory part of the community policing where it's, the officers knows you. No. And this is supposed to change the way officers interact with the community.
Well, there's problems with community policing. Either way, we don't hit people just because we really, really want them. For example, there's a Bundy. I was in Oregon a few years ago when this went down. And, these white people just took over a national park with their guns. Yeah, they just took it over. The cops really wanted to get in. The cops really, really wanted to get in. But they were like, no, we're not leaving and we're not giving up our guns. And
as a matter of fact, they allowed them to receive care packages.
They allowed them to receive care packages. I can't even visit Timmy anymore. Oh yeah, I got borrowed from jail. The day they come up to be like, I'm not allowed to go to jail. You barred me. I'm barred from jail. Yeah, so. So I remember these cats, they got care packages and the police really wanted them too. So when the police really want white people, there's still all these rules that have to be negotiated. When the police really want black people, can you give me the Move bombing? You might not hear about this. This happened in, I want to say either 85 or 87 in 85. Philadelphia. Some black, what's up? 85. Some black people were having a, loving lefty fest in an apartment building in Philadelphia. And the cops really wanted to get in, but the black people didn't want them in. And so they bombed them.
Why ever would they not have wanted to let the cops in?
They didn't want to let the cops in. Maybe there were joints inside. It doesn't matter. They bombed them. So white people with guns take over a building. Well, we'll let them have pizza and care packages, and we'll try.
Did they go in for like a month?
Yeah, they were there for a stretch, and the judge ended up acquitting them on ideological grounds because they really thought the land was theirs. They were like, "This is our land."
Oh, well,
the federal government's like, I really think joints should be illegal. I mean, joints should be illegal.
I believe lots of things now.
Yeah. But so apparently, what? At the time in 85 in Philadelphia, I'm not sure.
The Bundys?
No, that was a federal. No, that was a white judge. Like, that was just white people treating white people like white people treat white people. Yeah, treat them like people. They treat them like people. Whereas black people, when we want to, we'll just put a bomb. We'll bomb you out or burn you alive, whatever. We really wanted you, and that's enough. That's enough. We really wanted you out of that house. So we get to treat you the way we want to treat you. And make no mistake, when the cop mows you down because they really want you, because they think you might have a warrant, that means they don't really respect your relationships with anything or anybody, including your own body. They don't respect, your body doesn't matter. They want what they want, so you're just an object of their desire. All right? So that's what we saw. That's why I consider this a public lynching. It was a lynching. And because the message is we can do what we want to when we want to. And so the officer got fired, and then 2 days later was rehired next door in Oglethorpe County.
Now let's note, he got fired on a Saturday.
And
by Monday had a job the county over.
Yes.
Over the weekend, the government moved so quickly for this young man that he had a job on Monday.
He had a job
The
on
government.
Monday. So people are like, well, he got fired. He got fired. That means justice was done. And then he was rehired
Very proudly by a sheriff.
by a sheriff next door, which means it really is nice when you can get fired in a way that makes you so employable. Two, to have your daddy be a police captain. So this sole provider, like this, none of that matters.
And that GoFundMe is still up while he has a new job. So it's basically going to be a signing bonus.
Signing bonus.
For him,
$7,000 signing bonus for mowing down Woozy. They liked your pluck. Right?
And the sheriff of the county that hired him made a lovely Facebook post about hiring him where he was bragging about the great new officer they had just acquired.
Right. So here's the deal. We know it's important to have jobs. That's why we give you jobs. And if you're white, we take giving you a job seriously. A good job. Because he didn't start us as a janitor. No, he got up at the deputy position at the next county over. So jobs matter. The job market matters. I need black people to have that same job market as white cops do. They didn't talk about, well, we need to send the cop to soft skills training, or we need to give that cop a youth program. No, they're like, this cop needs a job. We're going to get him a job. And so they got him a job. We'll train him not to mow down Negroes later.
No, they won't.
No, well, the idea
did
is
you see that message from that sheriff?
That was his job.
Yeah, his interview was, oh, you ran down the Negro? Right, come right on down.
You have what it takes.
You are what Oglethorpe County needs.
We need more of you. You have that pluck. So Martin Luther King was clear when he said, like, we don't need more job training programs. We need jobs. The training can come later because we're tired of being trained for jobs that then get automated. So give me a job first, do on-the-job training, but pay me my first day, train me on the job, jobs first. That's what Saulter got. So we need black people. We need the deal. We need to live in the labor market that hires Saulter, where you can get fired from one job, but then get another job.
And let's just point out, fired for hitting someone with a vehicle.
Yes. Not criminal charges.
Yeah. And still get a job in the same industry. Right. You can't get fired from McDonald's and go to a Wendy's and get a job in 2 days.
Yeah, this is in the public. This is in the public sector too, right? So this isn't even the private sector saying, well, you got kicked out of the public sector, so you'll have to do private security now. No. These are good government jobs, good government benefits, and good government pensions. He probably doesn't even have to lose. He doesn't need to lose his accrued life insurance or anything like that. No. Like, yeah, this is a transfer.
And thanks to Obamacare, he took his health care with him.
No, he did not lose anything. He got a nice little transfer and a signing bonus.
So he got 2 days off. He got $7,000. Hold on. It just clicked. 2 days off, hit a man with a car, $7,000 signing bonus, and a new job.
Yeah, that happened.
Where the hell? Dip.
All right, so now let's switch to, and give me some of these comments because people will say that
that was a one-off comment.
That was a one-off. Give me what does this one say?
I think he just bumped him a little.
He just bumped him a little bit. Woozy, when I visited him in jail, made sure he said, my back still hurts. My back hurts. That's me. And when you're 24 years old and you're talking about back pain, that's not going to go away. When you're going to be 50 years old and talking about, I got a bad back because that time I got hit by a cop car.
Just bumped him.
I screwed up my ankle when I was 17. I have a bad ankle. Like Woozy's back will not be back. And he also said, I told the cops not to move me when I was on the ground, and then they moved me and sat me down on the curb. And then when he was in jail, and when they took him to the hospital, he's like, "Don't move me until the ambulance gets him." The cop's like, "No," and they sat him down. So then when he finally goes to the hospital like gives him some ibuprofen or whatever, and then gives him a prescription and sends him to jail. And the night I spoke with him, they were like, "Yeah, they won't give me the pills." So he's like, and they got me on a top bunk. So Woozy's got a bad back, and they weren't managing his pain appropriately. So give me another comment.
This
one's special. What's up?
If my own son did something as stupid as run from a Leo law enforcement officer, I would rather him be thumped by a car than a bullet. Sorry, officer is not in the wrong. The guy running is in the wrong.
Right. So we don't do that. That's not how American justice works. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I would prefer he be bumped by a car than a
bullet.
bullet. But it doesn't make bumping him with the car any better.
No, or like shooting him in the back for running away for a joint warrant appropriate. Like for having the temerity to run away, you don't get shot in the back. That's not the way America. You have to you chase him, and if you can't get him, he's just a guy with a warrant that got away. It's okay. He's in town. He'll come back. Like he wasn't in suspicion of a murder. This was a drug warrant for a laced joint. So then there was one. Is this another comment?
No, that was all of them.
Okay. Yeah, there was.
Can we also make sure that the first person who commented never gets a police job? Like if she ever applies for a police job anywhere, like this idea of shooting someone in the knee is nicer.
No. First of all, that's not the way guns work.
Yeah. Like she's watched too many movies. Yeah.
And honestly, on the comments, it's these white women who are the most vicious. I'm just saying, we'll get into that once I do some jail statics, but these white women who are the most vicious have no problem running down Woozy for a joint. So like we don't have a cop problem. We have a culture problem.
Every one of those were women.
Yeah, no, like it's not that people think that women are less vicious with respect to hanging Negroes. That's just not the truth. And this was a public lynching. It was a public. And lynchings, remember, were family affairs. Lynchings were family affairs. They got picnic baskets and everyone put on their best. And so this was a public lynching, and we saw that in the comment section. So we don't have a police training problem. If we had just had a police training problem, this guy wouldn't be sitting on 7 Gs now, a week after mowing down Woozy. We have a white people problem. So we are bad at training white people. We produce the wrong kinds of white people, and we need to take as a national project, not necessarily community policing, we need a better class of white people. Because that's what's going on here. The cop is a symptom of a white culture that says we can do what we want with black bodies when we want to because their relationship to their body doesn't matter. That's the problem. Yeah.
$7,206 so far.
For mowing down Woozy. Yeah, and he's got a job. That's on top of his job. So it was a signing bonus. His GoFundMe campaign turned into a signing bonus for Saulters. Now
their goal is $20,000.
I know. So put them side by side. You can cover my face. We also have is Woozy's. Yeah. Okay. So we also have the GoFundMe campaign for the person who was hit. And this is just black life. This is just the asymmetries of this is just white wealth versus black wealth. And caring for black people versus caring for white people. This is the cost. So if you get hit by a cop and we want to take care of your bills and your family and all of that, this is what you get. Right? So that's just but if you're a cop hitting someone and we want to protect your dignity, that's what you get. Now imagine if the reverse. Imagine if the white guy was hit by a black cop. Yeah. The numbers would be different, right? So just know that this is a problem. And what's up?
If you're a black cop under investigation, do you get hired?
Yeah, and if you're a black cop under investigation for hitting a white guy, a 24-year-old white guy, do you get a job the next county over within hours, without time to miss? You don't miss a single bill in 36 hours. He didn't miss any bills for hitting.
He didn't lose any sleep.
He didn't.
He knew when he got fired, he had a job waiting.
Yeah, that's what happens when your daddy's a captain. And you know why we don't have daddies who are captain or granddaddies who are captain? They didn't even let us become cops in Athens till a generation ago. So you're not going to have 3 generations of cops. No, you don't have 3 generations of judges because 3 generations ago we were picking stuff because they wouldn't let us do other things. So we just have to understand how deep this is and the asymmetries that go along in policing. And so this isn't a police culture problem. This is a white culture problem. And the message that was sent, and the message is still sent because everybody who knows that he was fired also knows that he was rehired. So you still have moms in this community saying, all right, you need to treat these officers with respect because they will mow you down and not think about it because it's the truth. You need to treat white people with respect because they will mow you down without thinking about it and not get really punished for it. And that's the problem. So we have a white culture problem. So until we address that white culture of black disposability, it's not going to matter. And this is why. So give me the jail stats. Yeah. The jail stats. Now, these are the stats of the Cook County Jail. Andrea Farnham, a local therapist, did some numbers crunching to figure out like what's going on here. Yeah,
Clark. You keep confusing us with Cook County.
Clark County, Athens Clark County Jail. I was in Cook County Jail, so when I think of jails,
It's a reference.
I've been an inmate of Cook County Jail, so I got flashbacks. So when I think of jails, it goes back to Cook County. We're now in Athens Clark County. These are the stats of Athens Clark County Jail. So what you see here, know that Athens is about 30% black, right? Athens is about 30% black, right? Roughly, give or take 28. So,
give them a week.
What's up?
Give them a week.
Give them a
we'll
week.
be down a few numbers.
Depending on who you talk to, that number is going down.
Rapidly.
Not because people are dying, but because like they're getting pushed out. So Athens is roughly 30% black. Assuming that half of those are women, half of those are men, that means 15% black men. Also assuming that there are a few more women than men, it's probably going to go down to 13 or 14%. So let's just say Athens, Clark County has about 13% black male. 13% black male. And yet we are 64% of the inmates. 64, 5 times. And that crowds out all of the other inmates. So pretty much like it's only black guys. Like everybody, we're overrepresented because everybody else gets to be underrepresented. Like there are only 36 women total. Right? And how many of them are white? They're like female
14.
15? 14 white women and 36. No, there are 45 women total in jail. 36 of them are black, 14 of them are white, and only 2 Latinos. I have ideas about how that works, because Latino population is about 10, 11%. So like I would think they would be overrepresented, but like only 2, which means that like we don't really care what they do. I think that means like there's not a strategy for imprisoning Latinos in the same way there's a strategy.
There was also recently backlash against our sheriff department
for imprisoning
on behalf of the Latino community. So they may have.
Anyway, their numbers are down, whereas our numbers are steady. Are steady. That's 64% and like holding. So we imprison black men. This is our holding facility for them. And honestly, this isn't a prison problem. This isn't a police problem because the same numbers you'll find in terms of school discipline, right? The same numbers, yeah.
So we just start this early.
We start this early. Like the black disposability is enculturated early. And so this is just how we teach people how to treat black people. This is how we teach people how to treat black people. When it's cops, it's done by white men. When it's sending you to ISS and in-school suspension, it's often done by white women. This is just how white culture teaches white people to white on black people. That's the problem. So until we deal with that cultural aspect, until we understand it as a cultural aspect and not necessarily merely a policing aspect, we're not going to go anywhere in the job market. Because this is also the same culture that says you don't have to pay black people to work for you if you want to hire them at all.
And you don't have to hire them.
And you don't have to hire them. And when you hire them, you don't have to pay them. And you can just fire them when you want to fire them. And you don't have to get them a job in the county next over. Yeah.
And you cannot hire them for, any reason.
All the reasons are right.
Hair, your hair, that natural hair thing. No.
And the same reason you can mow them down for any reason. They don't have to do anything bad. You cannot hire them for anything. for any reason at all. They're not a good fit.
And let's also be clear. If that officer had hit a dog, the reaction to this would be worse.
He would not. You know what?
He would not have gotten hired.
He'd be on leave.
Yeah.
He would be on leave. Like, no, if he'd hit a dog like that, and he was just like, I don't like this dog. Or like, I was caught to catch his dog. I wanted to hit this dog. I just mowed down a dog. No, he would be on leave. Michael Vick was in jail.
Oh, had he been a black man who hit a dog, it'd be even worse. He'd be in prison by now.
Animal cruelty. That means you need to take that man off the streets.
Danger to the community.
Yeah, he's a danger to the community. Black man going around hitting dogs. And you'd have the same excuses. Some people say, well, you know, dogs are vicious. He might have been hitting, like his life might have been at stake. Then be like, no, he was in a car. He shouldn't have hit that dog. And for the record, I did hear a lot of like cops take their life in their hands. And sure, some cops do risk their life. Not him. Your life is not at risk when you're chasing down a guy running away from you with open hands who's running because he's like Carl Lewis. That's not. Some cops sometimes their life's at risk. And honestly, if you look at the I don't know. It's risky, but it's not as risky as, you know, some black lives. Like, if the idea of if you're going to get suspended or arrested as a black male versus seriously hurt as a cop, I think, like the numbers, I'm betting on the cop not getting seriously hurt more than I'm betting on the black male not getting suspended or arrested. Because having been a black male who's been arrested and knows black men who have been arrested and or suspended, like, that just happens. That's just a part of black life.
Yeah, when we
getting shot isn't necessarily a part of cop life.
Well, yeah, when we went to see Miss Sheets, Andrea had to point out to her, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've been in here. I spent a week in here.
I spent a week. Yeah.
I spent a week in here over a bad check.
Black life, white people, bad check.
Not even a big bad check. A $94 bad check to Walmart.
$94 bad checks to Walmart. When white people get in jail for kite flighting, it's not for $94 in Walmart. Some of them do get in jail for kite flighting, not for that, right? They don't because of family stability. They don't because they get the good jobs, right? Or their cousin has a good jobs. Like, this is like the instability of concentrated poverty, which shouldn't be synonymous with concentrated blackness, but in the American South, it is. Or they know lawyers. So that's the problem. So, like, we need to talk about the problems, the asymmetries in American culture, which has given white people a holiday in the credit market, in the labor market, in the cash market, and in the housing market, while locking out black people in all of those markets, especially when credit's tied to housing, and we were locked out of the housing market for so long. You don't even need to be racist to just, like, inherit degradation on one side while inheriting like a cushion on the other side. Just because when you're the sole provider, the black sole providers I know, if they get lose their job, they don't have a father in the same industry who gets them a job next door.
Well, and the black sole providers, you know, that like I know are providing for their family, their brothers and sisters' family, their cousins. You know, it's not a situation where they're
stabilizing whole clans.
Yeah.
They're paying bail for situations like this.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's just keep in mind. Also, it's gonna break your heart. At the end of the conversation, Woozy said when I visited Woozy and Zale, he ends with saying, "Oh, by the way, when you're done with me, do you mind checking in on my lady? She's in here too, and she's 8 months pregnant." I will tell you, she was the one driving that car, right? Because they were driving a car. Although the incident happened a year ago. So don't tell me, well, she was pregnant with a joint, or maybe someone was pregnant with a joint in the car. No, this was a year ago. It just takes a year to, they just got sentenced last month. So it just took a year for for the court system to put an 8 month pregnant, who is now 8 months pregnant in jail. So that's just black life. That's just black life, because apparently the driver, suspended license, unpaid insurance. There's some other things. That's why she had to go to jail.
You mean she was poor?
That just means that
Yes.
these are poor people problem. Concentrated poverty, like you get the problems of concentrated poverty, which means that like maybe you don't keep up your insurance. Maybe like.
So we go to jail for not keeping up our insurance,
for black
and
people
cops get away free for killing us.
Yes, for this rubbing, like I really wanted to stop him. Well, she really wanted to like go to the store instead of pay her insurance. Like
Getting food.
Concentrated poverty means your network isn't your daddy captain. Your network is like the guy next to you who's also getting picked up on this same joint charge. Right? So then I visited with the lady friend, figured out, they were in the car at the same time a year ago, before she got pregnant, when she got picked up for a joint. And that's and that's the situation. That's just black life. So we need to address this. We need to address this economically, because this problem doesn't end with better policing. It ends when black people have stable jobs, are treated fairly in the labor market, in the credit market, in the money market, and are treated like we treat Bundys, who we just let take over federal buildings with guns, but we still treat them with rights. All right, and with that, I'm going to go out. Marcus, you got anything to say?
I'm sitting here with this look on my face, like just the realization.
Right. And Marcus, like we've been kind of like piecing this together as we go. Have I told any lies?
No. Everything you have said has been point on. I mean, we've talking to the family and everything. Like, yeah.
This like they got caught up in just some black stuff, and some groups don't want to get involved because it's messy, right? Like, but black life is messy. You still don't get to mow people down on the street. Black life is messy. Like concentrated poverty, you're gonna have some messy problems, but you still don't get to mow people down on the street.
And I guess actually the one thing I would say is that as we're watching this all unfold, not everybody has Woozie's best interests, but a lot of people are rushing to try to be at his side, and that's really worrisome.
Well, no, it shines a light on black life. Now, what I want to do is change this, take this conversation, one, get Woozie's family justice, but also deal with the public terrorism and count it for what it is. Like, until we teach white terrorism as terrorism and that as a lynching, it didn't involve ropes, but it still sends the same message. There's a reason why lynching was public. It's like, there's a reason why lynching was public. It sends a message. It sends the same message, because everybody who knows that the cop was fired knows that the cop was rehired next door. And that's the message I want to send. I need that in the schools, and that's what's taught. And that's with that. I'm out. I don't have anything to say. Oh, also, please go to the GoFundMe campaign for Timmy. If they just put in Timmy Athens in Google, the GoFundMe, it should come up. Give him some bucks. Also, if you like what I'm doing here, please tell your friends, send this video around. I'm going to end with the video and then cut it off. That's it. Peace.